Okay, so what kind of questions that you guys are facing whenever you are going to interviews?
What is
Uh,
your
uh,
source and what is your destination? Like,
what is your source and what is your destination? Okay, cool. What else? Guys, just open up yourself. It is not like, so don't treat it this like, a one-to-one session or something like that. So please be, open up yourself and try to ask questions so that we will explain in a better way. Okay, so it's not about like, we are just putting some slides and we are teaching something. It's more or less to be an interaction session. Okay, so this is how much you need to get most of it. Okay, so it is not about your project training or anything. So it is more or less we are trying to work as a team to understand how our real-time projects will work. Okay, so this is where we are trying to give you some insight. You guys needs to implement those things. Okay, so alternatively, I will try to implement these projects and you will try to practice that. Okay, so when you are practicing it, you will have multiple questions arise. Okay, so you need to ask them. So it is not like you're keeping mute and you are struggling inside that what is that particular answer will be. So it should not be like. Okay, yeah, gone.
Hi,
Hi,
Amar.
Amar.
I'm Neelu.
Okay,
Okay, please
all
go
right.
ahead.
Okay, all right. Gone, Neil.
Yeah, hi, Amar. I'm Mahija.
Mhm.
Mostly, interviewers are questioning about the process. Means when we are using a one particular example, I'm giving example. If we are
Mhm.
using scatter gather method,
Mhm.
so what will happen in between if I have put something else like that? Means the standard process they are not asking. They are means asking in different ways. Means all if they by choosing one topic they are going number of questions. Means even the experienced guy also cannot come across those questions.
Okay.
Most of the
All right.
cases are happening like that only. If you choose choice router, then what will happen if the
Mhm.
process is successed, otherwise
Mhm.
failed? If I want
Mhm.
a single attempt, like that, in that way we are facing the questions. Not in basic manner they are asking. They
Mhm.
are going in depth like as I told, even experienced guy also cannot come across those type of issues.
Okay.
Okay.
So what about the project that they are asking? So
It's
so
not
on,
like the
on
project they are asking.
Mhm.
It's a general term only.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. So yeah. Okay. Cool. So Mahiza, right? Okay. So some other is also asking. I believe Neil or someone.
Yeah, Neelu. It's Neelu,
Yeah.
Amar.
Yeah. Go on.
Uh, Actually, I'm in the learning phase.
Mhm.
I don't have any exposure before with this software field.
Mhm.
So, uh, what is your advice to cope up with the training and cope up with the real time? Yeah, whatever project you are providing. What is your advice for me? And up to what extent you are expecting to be aligned with your project training and
Okay. So I'll tell you guys. Okay. So whenever anyone is saying a real-time project on MuleSoft, okay, so you just need to understand how much percentage, which components we are using inside our project. Okay, you guys, see a lot of connectors, Salesforce, database, so many S3 buckets, SFTP, so many connectors you will see, try to see. See, the moment you're into projects, okay, you will mostly use your HTTP requester. Okay, so that connector will be very underrated whenever you're talking about your mule fundamentals. Okay, so why that particular connector is so much important, and what about this particular raml? Okay, so whenever we are looking at raml, so we see that hey, this is some kind of English terms we are trying to write it, so it doesn't have any impact on the projects. Okay, but to be precise, you will start with raml. Okay, you will try to implement everything in raml first. Okay, and then you will go with the actual implementation, and coming to the actual implementation, your 90% of your APIs will be developed on your HTTP requester component. Okay, the 10%, the remaining 10% will be, scattered into multiple landscape connectors, like, your Salesforce, your database, or something, some other. Okay, and coming to the interview perspective, they will try to ask Salesforce and the other connectors most of the time. Okay, so that is for your interview perspective. But coming to your real-time perspective, it is mostly like, your HTTP requesters or some other components. Okay, but we just need to understand the process that we need to, taking care while we are developing APIs. Okay, and we need to understand the internal things. Okay, so Mahisa is saying, hey, we are not if we are using a basic level connection or basic level configuration. Okay, so that is fine for your fundamentals. But whenever we are using a real-time scenarios, we need to understand, okay, so if we are using this particular connector, what is the exceptional cases that we are going to get? Okay, what kind of, issues we need to get? So what kind of ecosystem that we are going to use this particular. So you just need to understand what is that particular connector and which scenario we need to use that particular connector and how we are going to use that particular inside your project. These three things you just need to understand. Okay. And we are, at least I'm trying to focus on that. So I'm just trying to focus on the minute level of details whenever we are looking at this particular project trend. Okay. So you can have a course content and you can actually relate to what we are trying to, tell you. Okay. So we are trying to say the pinpoints. Okay. Let us say I'm trying to work on some project. Okay. So one of the member is joined into my project, and the moment he is asking the questions, I can understand whether he has that particular real-time experience or not. Why? Because see, you guys already know the auto discovery and this ABI manager concept. Okay. Whenever you are trying to, add that particular auto discovery ID inside your projects, and you are trying to run your application inside your local system, it will not deploy. It will deploy, but it will not trigger any, APIs. Okay, so you just need to uncheck, or you just need to comment out that particular thing. Okay, if some person is coming to me saying that, hey, this particular project I'm trying to deploy it in my local system, but it is not, hitting, or I'm getting a service unavailable error. So the very next moment I can understand, okay, so this particular person has not worked on any real-time project. So if he's worked on any real-time project, at least he will understand this particular thing. Okay, this way we are trying to understand, okay, so what is the real-time scenarios or real-time configuration that we need to do? Okay, so what are the things that we need to take care of? Okay, so how your Git repositories are, what is the project management tools that we are going to use it in real time? Okay, and so it is not like, just explaining the things. Okay, so we are just trying to implement these particular projects from scratch to the end. Okay, so we are trying to use all the tools that we are going to use it in real time. So if you are understanding this particular entire process, what are the standards that we are following? Okay, so what are the, how we are actually developing this particular process, you get to know like end to end, and you are going to, tell the same thing in your interviews, and you are going to implement your real time projects in a same fashion. Okay, so it will help you understand what is this particular mule in real time. Okay, which connector we are going to use it, how we are going to use it, in which scenario we are going to use it, and what are the minute details that we need to take care of whenever we are using that particular connector. Okay, so these aspects I'm going to cover it. Okay, but let me tell you one more thing. See, our primary focus is not only like, cracking your interview skills. Okay, so it is like, at 50% we are going to focus on your interview perspective, how we need to, like, crack that particular interview, what are the questions that we are going to get, and how to answer those questions. The second part is like how to sustain your MuleSoft projects. Okay, which means that the moment you complete, 3 to 4 APIs, you're in a comfort level that, okay, so if someone is saying, or someone is, asking you to work on some freelancing project or some consulting project, or you are into some, a real MNC to work on that particular project, you're at a comfortable level that, so this particular process or this particular development, whatever we are doing, so it will be very helpful. And I'm 100% sure that you will, make use of this particular training to implement the real life. Because I scattered into multiple projects. Okay, so I worked on multiple projects, and to be precise, like, so I might worked on like 80 to 90 APIs development. Okay, in overall career, so I see like around like 130 or 140 APIs. So everything, even if I'm working on different companies, different projects, the alignment will be same. Okay, there will be 80% matching. So that another 20% there will be standards or naming conventions. That's it. Okay, but every architect will follow the same route. Okay, so you just need to understand, hey, where we are going to get that requirement. Okay, so what is my source system? What is my target system? Okay, and how we are going to implement that, how to utilize this particular architectural documents. What is a data mapping sheet? What is a functional document? What is a technical document? So all these things you need to understand. What is a API specification document? What is a NFR document? So what these documents will tell you, because whenever you are going to some projects or a real-time projects, or you are working for a client, so without these documents you will not start your API development. It is not like we are trying to work on some POC. We are working for some MNC, and that guy is spending like $30 per hour. So at least they will have a much more standards whatever we are having in our fundamentals, or the mule classes, basic mule classes. Okay, so you just need to understand this way, that whatever we are developing here, it is matching your real-time requirements 80%. The 20%, why I'm not saying 20%, is the naming conventions. And some of the time they will try to use a different naming. So let us say I'm calling a process API. In general, we know process API. So they will try to call an integration API or something like that. Okay, so we are trying to focus on this particular. So any questions or any direction that you want, hey, Amar, so this is what we are looking at. Not only like our primary focus is like cracking a job, but to be precise, guys, I'm telling that, see, whenever you guys are into a real-time project, if you are working on 2 months, or if you are implementing 2 to 3 APIs, you are good to go. You don't require to look back to your career. So the moment you are working on 2 to 3 APIs, you are in a good shape, because this particular tool is doesn't have so much of technology inside it. Okay, so it is a very easy tool that you need to understand. Okay, so we are just doing some configuration, some basic database. That's all right. So even inside your real-time APIs, this will be there. So there is no complication that you just need to think through. So it is just like a few process we need to understand, and we need to understand how we are starting this particular implementation. So where to start, what is my source system, what is my target system, how we implement it. If you are explaining this way, so it is, you're good at your project explanation. They will not question, or they will not doubt about your project experience. Okay, so I'll just try to focus on this particular thing. Okay, so we are trying to explain 2 different processes. Okay, one is like your manufacturer domain, so the other one is your insurance domain. Okay, so in this particular things, we are trying to see the architectural stuff. Okay, so how your real-time architectural documents will be. Okay, how to analyze that particular architectural document. So how to convert that particular architectural design to your baseline APIs, how to implement it, how to design your design center. All these things we are trying to cover. Okay, so any questions here at this particular moment of time?
What about environments?
Yeah, so we are going to see the environments as well. Okay, so it is not like, so we are trying to look at that dev environment and we are trying to deploy it. That's it. No. Okay, so we are trying to see how our environments will be and how what kind of configuration that we need to do, what kind of properties that we are going to change it over of the environments. So that one also we will try to see.
What about transformations?
Transformations, obviously transformations will be there. Okay, so it is not just like, so we are just doing a process, but we are trying to focus on transformations as well. So, but tell me one thing. So what kind of data view questions that they are going to ask? So ideally they will try to ask what is a map versus map object. Okay, what are the functions that you have used inside your projects? Okay, they'll try to ask flat and they will try to ask plug operator. So they will try to ask uh, filter by, group by. So these kind of basic questions, you guys need to understand it. You need to, explain in a theoretical way. Okay. But those things we will try to implement inside our project. Any other question?
Are you providing any documents?
Yeah. So whatever we are going to explain in this particular thing, so we are going to give you the architectural documents. Okay. And I will try to give you some examples on functional design documents and technical design documents. So that, see, technical design documents and functional design documents will vary from project to project. So they will have some standard. Okay. So they will have some format kind of. Okay. So that will vary, but at least you can understand, hey, what is this particular technical design document? So what are the components that we will have it? And what is the API specification document? What is the NFR, non-functional requirements document? So these documents, at least if you have some idea, so if in your interviews, if they are asking, you can actually answer it by, see, if I'm just trying to tell you like, hey, this will be there, this will be there. So you can't visualize it actually. So we are trying to provide those documents so that you can actually refer it in later point of time and you can convey the same thing inside your interviews and you can relate this particular content coming back to your real-time projects, whatever you are deploying. Okay, so once we are starting this particular things, you will familiarize everything. Okay, but yeah, any other questions so that I can move to the next one? Will you cover API testing part also? Yes, we will do. Why? Because see, whenever you are into your projects, so there will be M-unit testing needs to be there. Okay, JMeter testing needs to be there or something. I mean, so M-unit and JMeter will be like, so they will try to implement it most of the time. So they will try to see, look at your M unit coverage like 80%. If you are looking at your Bank of America or some other banking domains, they will try to see 100% coverage. Okay. So we will try to implement M units as well. Okay. For one of the complete jar so that you guys can understand how, hey, whenever we are into projects, how to implement these particular M units, how to cover the whole aspect of this thing. So there are some tricks also. So we'll try to convey that thing as well. Okay, so I got some questions. Okay, what are the points we need to focus while explaining the project? Yeah, challenges faced in your project. Yeah, obviously. Okay, fine. Currently, I'm working on Mule project. How it will use. Okay, so whenever you are using your production environment process, so you need to understand how to debug your logs. Okay, how to extract your logs. What are the categories that you need to take care of it? Okay, so what is the environment level aspects that you need to look at? Okay, so those things we will try to cover. See, coming to the runtime manager aspect. Okay, say it's not about like so we are just trying to focus on one particular part and we are explaining something and we are closing the sessions. Okay, so you can actually refer the old batches. So if you guys have it, so you can actually get it. So from last two batches, what we have done is we just got some consulting real-time project and we try to develop that particular project with it. Okay. It's not like, we are just, giving up once we complete this particular project. So it is just like, It is a regular process that we are following up. And if you guys have any questions, we will try to answer that particular things. Okay. So it's not like, so this particular coordination or this particular relation will end up after 30 days or something like that. So it will be continued. If we are getting some good things, hey, this particular thing will be helpful for some person, we will try to post back to that particular forums and you guys actually implement that. And one more thing, so if you guys are really interested in, so we will try to, give you some use cases. So you just need to implement those use cases. That will give you a too much good insight, guys. Okay, so it is not just like, we are not only focusing on this particular projects, whatever the APIs that I'm going to explain, but I will try to give you some use cases. It is your personal interest, how much you are putting your effort here. Okay, that's what your trump card. So whenever you are going to your interviews or your real-time projects, that is where you need to utilize this particular knowledge back to them. Okay, you need to explain them, hey, this is how we implemented it. And if you are implementing it, or if you are explaining this way, no one is going to question you that you don't have a real-time experience. I'm pretty much sure about it. Okay, so do you think at least I will have videos if I could not attend class? Yes, you do have videos. We will try to record it. Okay. And one thing, guys, okay, don't misuse this particular recordings or anything. Okay, don't put it in public forums or anything, because we try to extract these particular APIs from real projects. Okay, so it represents the real architecture. It represents how your data weave will be, real-time data weaves will be. Okay, how this particular field structures will be. Okay, don't misuse that. So that is my humble request. Okay, but we will try to see every aspect, not only like just implementing it. So we are trying to see the project level, maintaining the project. Okay, maintaining your git repositories, how this particular git repositories, how to connect your git repositories back to your project management tools, and project management tools to your exchange to your SharePoint locations where documents will be. So all these aspects we will try to cover. So you can go through the course content and you will get some insight what we are actually trying to cover it here. Okay. Will you cover API testing part? We already answered. Do we use the real-time server? Everyone will be able to connect to the servers. Yeah. So whatever the end systems that we are trying to use it, so it will be available for you so that you can actually implement those projects back to your local ecosystem. Okay. So it is not like we are restricting that particular servers or external systems. So whatever we are trying to explain it, you can actually practice it. You can actually connect to that particular end systems, and you can actually get that particular data. See, this particular data will be a mocking data, but the structures that we are using is a real-time project scenarios, or you can say actually we just try to capture that particular thing from the real-time process. Okay. Is there any support from you after we get the job? See, one thing, guys. Okay, so even I'm working on some company. See, usually I will try to get something like 5 to 6 calls every day. Okay, from my past students who are already placed in who are already working in MuleSoft projects. Okay, if they do have some questions, I will try to answer that. So the same support you will also get it. See, it depends upon how much interest you are showing it. Okay, so if you are really learning in a proper way, you don't require to ping someone to get that particular requirement or to get that particular info. It is you will be in a comfort zone where you can implement the any API. Okay, so I'm pretty much sure. I'm very much confident because I just tried inside my companies as well. So normally what we are getting is we don't get a fulfilled guys or a proper guys from the outside market. Okay, the people coming in and they are we know, so these people have learned somewhere the basic training. So we need to train them in a project structure, and we need to tell them what is the process that we are following. Okay, and so this is what I have experienced. Okay, the same experience I'm trying to put it here, so you will be in a comfortable shape. even if you are going to any project. Okay, I'm sure. So even if you are going to a banking project or insurance domains or anything, so we are in a good shape. Okay. I'm working as a network engineer and I want to switch to MuleSoft side. I have done certification. So one more thing. So this particular project training is dedicated to who are actually learned MuleSoft. Okay. So the bare minimum thing I will try to expect from you guys is what is a RAML. So what are the components inside RAML? Okay. What is a HTTP requester? Why we are using HTTP requests? At least whenever I'm explaining that, I will give the complete insight. But if I'm saying HTTP requester, you should not be in a blank face or something like basics. Okay, so the basic fundamentals. So if I'm saying exchange, you should not be in a surprise mode. Okay, at least that particular thing I'm just trying to explain. Okay, so please do practice your basics, or please do get some insight on your basics. Then this particular real-time project training will be very useful, and you can actually use this particular knowledge to crack your jobs or sustain inside your projects. What this real-time project help to cover all the concepts of MuleSoft 2. Okay, so we are trying to focus on the frequently used features, or how we are going to implement your real-time APIs. Okay, so let me tell you. So the VM connector, let us say, in the VM connector, we will not use it at all inside your projects. The very bare minimum, 1% or 2%, that one we will not cover it. But we will try to cover your database connectors. Okay, database and Salesforce and other connectors. Okay, still that have the limitation of 10% of APIs will be used, but still we are going to tell that, but because even that particular 10% we don't want to lose. Okay, your 90% of your projects will be there on your HTTP requester and HTTP listener, because we are trying to use it API-led connectivity. Without any API-led connectivity, none of the projects will be there. If you are not, if you are saying, hey, I implemented a project without this particular API-led connectivity, so you got caught. Because without this particular API-led connectivity, none of the projects will be there, guys. Okay, try to understand. So even if you are joining this particular class or not joining class, that's okay. But at least whenever you're explaining your project, try to explain it in API-led connect. Without that, no one is going to implement your project. Okay, clear? Any other question? You can turn on your mic and you can ask. So not like in a chat window. You know. Okay, all right. So we will try to see the architectural documents. Okay. Something like this. Okay, and we will try to see the individual design, and we will try to implement that particular ecosystem like with your API-led connectivity. Okay, and we will try to implement process APIs. We will try to implement system APIs. Let me show you this thing. Okay, so we will try to implement something like this. We will try to have both experience APIs, system APIs, and process APIs. Okay, and which scenario we are going to use it. Okay, which scenario we need to create system APIs, which scenario we need to go with process APIs, all those things we will try to cover it. Okay, and apart from this, we will try to have something like a data mapping sheets, and we will try to have this kind of functional design documents and technical design documents. I mean, so we can't give all the functional design documents. I mean, so it will take too much of effort, but at least you will get one or two APIs. You will have API specification documents, your functional design documents, technical design documents, NFRs, and data mapping sheets. Okay, so we will try to provide that so that you can refer those documents and you can explain that thing back to your interviews or your real time. You can compare that. Okay, any questions?
Here, can we able to do the GitHub and securities, all those things too?
Yeah. So whenever you're into projects without your source code management and your security policies, none of the projects will be there. So we are going to teach that as well. Okay. See guys, it's not about one particular project or one particular API we are trying to tell. Okay, so we are going to cover each and every aspect that we are going to do it inside your project. Okay, so if after this particular class or after this particular sessions after that, so if someone is asking, hey, this particular thing have you implemented inside your project, so you're in a position that okay, you can explain everything. So uh, I'm pretty much good at explaining the things in a detailed manner. Okay, and so within this particular scope, none of your interview questions will be out of this particular scope. Okay, but it is your responsibility to practice these things. Okay, even if you are not taking this particular training, or if you are going to any MuleSoft project. Okay, so the first 2 months is a hard time for you. Okay, so but if you are actually implementing 2 to 3 APIs, you will get the essence of that particular API led connectivity, and you are good to implement new APIs independently. Okay, so that is the beauty of your MuleSoft technology. It is not too much hard to implement it, too much hard to understand it, but you need to understand what is the process that we need to do it. So that particular process and what are the tools that we are going to use it, how to use it, we will try to explain. Okay. Any other thing?
Thought about ticketing tool.
Yeah. So we'll try to explain Jira. Jira as well as your Azure DevOps. Okay, see, it's not like one thing we will try to get it completely. The other thing is a optional thing. So if you guys are comfortable with the second one, so you can explain the second one. Okay, so we are going to see the Azure DevOps dashboards. Okay, and we will try to see the Jira dashboard. So Jira dashboard we will try to focus primarily because Jira is going to use it extensively inside your projects. Okay, so we are going to focus on that, and we will try to make that particular Jira IDs back to your Git repository. Okay, how we are going to create feature branches, what is the PRs that we are going to create, pull requests. Okay, so what is the approval process? Okay, all these things we will try to learn.
Here the system processes we can like what kind of process we use, like Salesforce, SAP, AWS, all these are there, right? So in our projects what we are exactly using for the system processes?
Okay, so we are going to use Oracle Service Cloud. Okay, Oracle Field Service Cloud, Salesforce. Okay, and we do have SFTP external systems. Okay, and I do see HCM, and we will try to see the database systems as well to store our what we can call our logging technique. Okay, so the logging mechanism also they will try to ask. They will try to ask exception handling. So all these things we need to understand. Okay, but it is field service cloud, human capital management, and you can alternatively take Amazon AWS also. If maybe the other things, yeah, Oracle. I'll try to see. I mean, so most of the time, so we will try to focus on 6 different APIs. Okay, we'll try to see the batch processing. We will try to see the for loop kind of thing. We will see map object map. Okay, and we will try to see the process APIs. We will try to see the exception handling. We will try to see the logging techniques. Okay, all these configurations we will try to see. We will try to see the environment setups. Okay, so what kind of environment setups we need to do. So all these things we will try to cover. Okay, so you can actually see this particular thing. So you can see this Anypoint Studio, right? I believe.
Like, will it be covered like techniques, something like like in development process API and data transformations, frequently used functions techniques, like, yeah, will
Yeah.
those be covered? Yeah.
See, most of the techniques I'll tell you. Okay. So whenever some person is joining inside my project, so I can understand. I will try to keep a eye on him, saying that hey, whether this particular guy is really worked on something a real-time project or not. Okay, the questions that they are asking, so I can easily find it out. Okay, so this particular guy has worked on something. Okay, those kind of techniques also I'll try to tell you, so that you will be in a good shape. That okay, so you can actually project yourself that you are a real-time guy. Okay, and we do have something like fail-safe conditions, how to write it. Okay, so how to write down your the gateway mechanism inside your ramls. Okay, all those things we will try to tell. See, because these things are like pain points whenever you're going for your real-time projects. Okay, so you might crack your interview. You will go to inside your project. Okay, you are trying to implement some of the APIs inside your API-led connectivity. But if you are not, understanding how to implement in a proper way, so you will get so many issues inside once you are deploying into your production environment. So how to suppress those issues? Okay, those things also we will try to focus.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, good. Okay, so you can ask me any questions, guys. Okay, so not only this particular Muse of project training, so you can ask me any questions that you are facing inside your Mule. Okay, or you guys are facing some questions that you are not able to answer inside your interview questions or your interviews. You can ask me that. Okay, so it's not like we are sticking to one particular training or one particular concept or something like that. We will try to explore most of the things. Okay, we will try to explore use cases. So those things will be useful for you whenever you're explaining your projects or in. Okay, but what I'm expecting from you is your dedication towards this particular training. Okay, and whatever we are going to explain it, at least you guys need to practice that. Okay, so it is not like so after completing our session, so I will try to see the recordings and I will try to practice. Okay, so at that time maybe I will not be like in a full swing to answer your questions like one to one. Okay, maybe you can call me so I can explain it, but it is not more interactive. So whenever we are having these particular sessions, if you are trying to practice it and if you guys got any questions, it will be easy for us to explain the things and you can easily get that particular stuff. Okay, so that is the bare minimum I am expecting. So the practice that you guys need to put in. Okay, so that's where you just need to crack that particular interview. Okay.
Uh, I have one
Mhm,
question. I have built a system API to connect Salesforce,
mhm,
so which insert attachments into Salesforce.
mhm,
So it is taking for a hit. It is taking sometimes 4 seconds, and sometimes it is taking 23 seconds.
mhm.
Yeah, I used parallel for each for looping, and some array of objects will be my input, and inserting looping that reading and looping that using parallel for each and inserting all at a time into the Salesforce. So
Okay.
sometimes it take 4 seconds and 5 seconds. Is it yeah, that is a good hit, or it should be less than 1 second?
See, if you are trying to convey the conventional media type without a base 64, you can expect that 4 seconds or 5 seconds. If you are converting into a base 64 and you are trying to put it back to Salesforce, then it should be within like 1 second ideally. But what is the processing strategy that you have implemented inside your parallel storage? How many threads that you are invoking?
It's like around five to four or five. Just I tried.
Okay, so try to see this way. I think Charan, right?
Yes.
Okay, so try to see is it a scheduler based mechanism or is it a RESTful API based mechanism?
Scheduler based.
So it is a scheduler and you are trying to pull out the data from some other system API and you are trying to you are getting a collection of objects and you are trying to push it back to system API, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so try to understand the it is like take 20 to 30 objects, try to understand so what is the mechanism or is the transportation jitter is too heavy between the system APIs or not. Okay, so it is not like just assume that so you are trying to send it to MB5. Okay, so you are trying to pass it from process API to system API, just assume that. Okay, which means that you're trying to put it in a transport barrier and you're passing it back to your system API. From that particular system API, it needs to take it and it needs to place it to SFTC. So between these, what is the protocol? Is it a HTTP protocol or is it a HTTPS? Okay, you need to understand. So your system APIs are implemented in REST APIs or a SOAP APIs. So these things are considered and try to understand, okay, so how much time it is taking between the transports and between the SFTC to your system API. So try to list down that particular thing. If it is like, 3 to 4 seconds is not a bad thing, to be precise.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
If you are doing in a document, so it is a good thing. Okay. But overall, if it is a JSON kind of event mechanism, it should be within 1 second. So the whole process also we will try to see within a 1 second.
Yeah.
Okay, some process API to system API, system API to this thing. So we'll try to see 1 or 2 seconds. But if you are processing your documents, that is fine. I'm not sure what media type that you are using, but it is not a bad time altogether. But
Yep.
more than 5 to 6 seconds, just try to understand which layer, which transport layer it is, taking too much of time. So get use of your now function. You can get very insight of what timing it is trying to print.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay. Yeah. Any other question, guys? I can hand over to Kishore if you guys don't have any other questions.
One question.
Okay. Yeah. Go
After
on.
complete how much experience you
Vamshi, your voice is too.
Yeah, after complete the course, how much experience you can able to?
So whenever you're going for any MuleSoft case, don't put it more than 3 years, because see, whenever you are into MuleSoft process, most of the the process you will try to understand within 2 months. Okay, the other 2 years or other 2.5 years, you are just trying to understand like the concepts clearly. Okay, so if you are putting more than 3 years, they will try to take you at an architect kind of understanding. Okay, so if you are working as a developer, so if you are taking it your fundamental classes, don't put it more than 2 to 3 years. Okay, and so we make sure that you explain any concept in a detailed manner. So try to explain the concepts in a project ecosystem. Okay, so if you are saying, hey, if someone is saying that, hey, what is a batch processing, try to take it this way. Hey, I implemented one of the batch API between this particular system and this particular system, whatever we are trying to explain in this particular project, right? So we try to do this particular thing. We use batch aggregator, we use the batch step. Okay, so try to explain in a project scenario so that the other person will not get any like doubt. Hey, this particular guy has theoretical knowledge. He doesn't have a project exposure kind of thing. Okay, so try to explain the answers something like that so that you will have too much of you know this thing. Okay, too much of weight in that particular interview, and you will easily get that particular. So even if you are not answering some of the questions, but if you are explaining in a project aspects, you are good to go, because we are not expecting too much of expertise from you guys, because there are so many MuleSoft projects are coming in. So we see number of people are attending the interviews, but they are not competent enough to explain the things in a proper way, or somewhere around they are not actually telling the concept at least. Okay, if you are putting some presence of mind, understanding the concept and trying to put it inside your interviews, we are good to take you in and we will try to train. And so some direction we got it from in my previous company. So I will be a tech panel where I will try to take the interviews, and we got something like, hey, if the person is not like working on some other organization, or if you are finding out that he's mocking his experience. Okay, if he's giving some insight on the concepts, Okay, if he's explaining the things in a project way or how we are implementing in project, just take him in. Okay, so we don't bother about that part because we do have resources to fulfill this particular requirement. Okay, and so if you are trying to conduct 20 interviews, most of the time 10 people will not attend the interviews at all because they do have like fear saying that, hey, this particular interview, I can't face it because I don't have a project experience. Don't do that. Okay, try to attend the interviews and try to explain the things in a project based scenarios. Okay, so try to understand what that particular connector, what is the details of the but that particular connector. Okay, what is the pain points of that particular connector? So which scenario we are going to use it? What are the other scenarios we need to take it? So try to learn that way. Okay, that is my humble suggestion. Whenever, so it is not only MuleSoft case. Okay, any technology that you are trying to take in, so try to understand the concept first, and so try to see it, which scenario we are going to use that. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah. Okay. Kishore, you can take it.
Hi all. Any queries related to this? See here what happened, these batches we are going to conduct only people took training under me. Okay. So we are not going to, giving training to others. Why? Because people who and all facing some issue to crack the interview. Many people are getting the job, okay, but still some of them they are not able to crack this interview. So that's why I requested him to deliver these things. Right now I'm not able to get the time to take this project classes. What I'll do as it is, I'm going to continue these classes and I can give it to them project classes. We are like a team in MuleSoft, like we are 17 members. All are located in different locations in this country, and even some folks will be there in the US as well. Last time, what happened? We got one freelancing project. Okay, so what we did, we did not implemented the project. Whatever people who completed a real-time project batch 2. Okay, so in that we shared that APIs to them. They implemented. Okay, so they gave design part RAML. For that we quoted 17 hours. For 17 hours they paid 17K, and we gave it. We didn't take single rupee. We gave it to the that developers. Not only this, in future we do have so many plans on this MuleSoft. We are going to create some projects. We are going to sell it to the others, like this. If you guys able to work on this, so after this project classes, again we are going to develop our projects own. Okay, in that we are not going to charge anything. If you are trained here, we will take you. Okay, so what we can do, we are giving different types of APIs. We will explain you how to do it for the real time same. Okay. For that, we are not going to charge. So that kind of help also we will give it to you. And if we receive any freelancing project, we can give same APIs to you. You can work on it. You will get the real time work experience. And accordingly, if possible, we will pay that amount as well. Okay. Like this, so many opportunities will be there. Okay. And moreover, within 2 months we are going to start offline projects also, like whenever if you have time on weekends, you just come to my office. Okay, and you can start developing the projects by your own. On top of it, we are going to guide you. Okay, these kind of benefits you will get it. Okay, but ultimately you need to get the job. If you want to get the job, what is the procedure, everything we'll explain here. So he's going to showcase you end to end the project, like how you will get the requirement from the client end. Okay, so you will see like HLD, high level documents, FD functional documents, TD technical documents. Okay. FLD, TLD, you will get it. Apart from this, you will receive the data mapping sheet. Okay. So what kind of fields will be there? What is the type of that fields and where you need to map it? Okay, everything they will provide you in the data mapping sheet. That data mapping sheets also we will provide it to you. Technical documents, functional documents, everything will provide. On top of it, we will implement you end-to-end or real-time project APIs with the proper naming conventions as well. Okay. Once we did these two projects, we will explain you like how you need to perform an interview. Everything we will explain. Okay. So every weekend we will be in the panel. Okay. Like we took so many interviews. Okay. We know what kind of questions, we need to ask to the, uh, candidates. Everything we will discuss with you. We will help you to get a job very easily. Last time, 20 people joined, before completing the course itself, the 7 people, they got placed. Okay. So market is good. Now you just try to focus on it. Okay. So any other questions apart from this? Always, any questions, even silly question also you can ask me.
Okay, it's not about how that question will be, guys. Okay, so even if it is a basic question, you can ask me. Okay, if it is not related to your mule basics or mule this thing, so it will be in a different technology. I can at least answer that particular question. Okay, so it's just like open up yourself and try to put it in some direction. Okay, so what if they ask client name? Okay, so let me share my screen and I can show you. Just a moment. So mm, just a moment, guys. So this is something like your real project space. Okay, it doesn't. We are not mocking that particular thing. So you can actually take this particular project and you can actually include it in your resume. It's not like so we are just explaining something and you can't put it inside your resume. You can actually change the name also. Okay, but you will actually get the context. Hey, this is something like okay, so insurance domain, so I have worked on. Okay, you can actually tell this particular name. So if they can actually search for it, so you will get that particular wiki as well. So it is like it is what we have created. So these are the real projects that we are going to explain. Okay, so the other project also in a similar line. Okay, so you will get end-to-end API implementation, and I will try to explain each and every concept in detail. Okay, but what I was expecting is like you just need to practice a bit, guys. Okay, it's not like you're just hitting the class and you're putting your laptop down, so it might not help. Okay, you just need to practice. You just need to, so if you are practicing it, it will be visually printed inside your mind. Okay, so that's where you just get most of this particular trend. So that is I'll try to tell you all of the time, so try to practice it, something like that. But this is your personal interest that you need to practice. Okay, so these projects you can actually put it inside your resumes. It is not like so we are not mocking anything. So we are actually taking the real projects, taking the real structures, trying to get the real see the external systems will not get the real client external system. But what we have done is we try to create that particular mocking data. Okay, so you will try to connect to that particular external systems and you can actually practice. but don't share that particular external systems back to your friends or something. It is completely within this particular project scope. Okay, so that is the at least the bare minimum agreement I need. So don't share it to your friends which are outside this particular project training or something. So it is for your purpose, and at least I'm expecting that particular dignity over. Okay. Any questions? The duration of the class 25 hours, but see guys, if you guys are not able to if we are not we might focus on some other additional stuff whatever we have this particular content. Okay, so we are trying to focus on 25 hours, but it might increase like 2 to 3 hours or 4 hours. Okay, so don't stick to the timeless, but the bare minimum you can have it inside your mind is 25 hours. Okay. Any other thing?
How is the market in US? Like, is it booming? In India, it is booming, I know, but in US,
Uh, I believe so. Who are in US, they need to answer it. So maybe Kishore. Yeah.
Yeah, okay. See, most of our clients will be located in US only. Okay. Most in India, we are not getting direct projects here. You know that, right? So in market in US is too good. You know, recently one girl got the job. She got, $115 per hour. Okay. So
yeah.
market is too good. Getting the job is very easy in the US compared to India. In India, lacks of resources will be there. Right? So in US, it will be less. If you see in the group also, like in this Indian people will be more, but in US hardly you can see 4 or 5 contacts, right?
Mm.
So getting the job is also very easy in the US. What you need to do, try to practice it, practice. That's it.
But Kishore, when I'm searching for the US jobs, I'm seeing like more consulting companies rather than the direct
See, in
clients.
US everything will be consulting only. Okay,
No,
every
actually,
mostly
like,
99%.
and
99% jobs will be contractual. Okay, and also they're going to pay more if you are
no,
uh,
no, Kishore, the price is not like that now. That's what I saw. Like, I got a couple of calls, but the price is not as
how
you
much
said.
they told on
They are telling like 50 per hour,
50
50
per
to
hour on
60 per
C2C or
hour,
W2.
C2C.
What's your experience?
I don't have any experience. Like, I do have 12 plus years experience of IT profession, but in
Mm-hmm.
MuleSoft, I don't have anything.
You don't have any experience on mail.
That's
Okay.
what I listened to your class, and I put my resume in the market, actually, in the
Yeah,
US
that
market.
depends on like it depends on organization to organization, and as well as you like consulting also. They are charging like 25% or 30% on it, right?
Mm-hmm.
After that, like you will receive some amount. It depends on completely. See, even if it is $50, that is not less, right? 50 per hour means 8 hour. How much you will get? 4,000.
Yeah.
Huh?
Yeah.
4,000 or 400?
50 per hour for 8 hours, right? 4,000.
4,000.
400,
400.
sorry. 400. 400.
400 into 80.
It is
400
more than
Per
into
day,
80.
per day you are earning 32,000. But in India,
See,
entire month
guys,
we are getting only 1 lakh.
see, whenever we are looking at the client billing in our this thing. Okay, so if we are working for a client for a MNC, so they are at most charging like $37 to $39. It depends. Okay, so some companies will be there, so they are putting like less than that, $25 something like that. Okay, so the problem here is we will try to be there in offshore times, the IST times. Okay, if some issue is there or some alignment to be there with the architects or something. Okay, so they will try to uh, get these resources on onshore who are there in US or Canada, so they will try to pull you in. Okay, the only thing that they are going to expect is to build that particular gap between your offshore and your architects. Okay, that gap you need to fill it in. Okay, so that's why, so you're just filling the gap over there. So you're not technically doing so much of it. Then that particular, billing aspect will be different. Okay. If they are looking at as an architect level or a developer level, so the billing will be there. The billing will change. Okay. That is the thing that you need to understand. What is that particular project? What they're actually doing. Okay. What they're actually expecting from you to do it. So that is the thing that you need to understand. So it is not like, one particular job is paying $50 or $60. No, just start doing it. Okay. Then only you will get something. Okay. It's not about money, guys, always. Okay. You just need to understand, hey, how this particular thing will be in real time. Okay. So if I join that, so at least I will earn it or I will, learn it something. That's it. Okay, so you just need to understand that way. So at least try to join some organization and try to see, even if it is $20, that's okay. So at least I will get to learn something, and I can, project that particular learning to my next upcoming, job or company. So be there for 2 months or 3 months. Okay, if you are getting a good job, just abscond it. No one cares. Okay, but at least don't look at the financial aspects first if you are not working on any other company. Okay, that is my humble suggestion. Okay, so whether it is $30 or $40, don't take it inside your mind. Please join that particular organization and take the interviews. Try to join it. Try to understand what is the ecosystem out there, and try to understand how this particular MuleSoft model is working. Okay, so try to understand what is the API-led connectivity, how they are constructing these particular projects. So try to understand that. So utilize that particular knowledge back to your next company movement, whether it is 5 months or 6 months. Hardly I'm saying that if you are working in a project for 2 months, you get to understand what is that particular ecosystem is, your MuleSoft ecosystem or landscape. Okay, then you can move to some other company. Okay, any other questions? No?
Okay, guys. Tomorrow also, like, we'll give you one more practical session. Okay. So after that, you guys think
At
and let
what
me know.
time, Kishore? This is very late for us, like for me.
Correct. I
It's
agree, but the thing is, early morning it will be difficult for us as well. We do have some other batch. Okay, and also
okay.
getting, morning is very difficult. Now winter is coming.
Uh, the problem I will tell you guys. Okay, so as we are working as architects, okay, so we need to align with the US and Canada times. Okay, and they will have their own calls, and they need to have business calls, and we need to interact with the business. So it's like 11:30 or 12 till 12 we do have calls with the US people, Canada, with that particular um, countries, and we need to close. So that is my primary thing. Okay, so that is where I was working, so I need to interact with them. Okay, then I need to get sleep, and I need to wake up in the early morning. So again, that particular balance is going out. Okay, so I mean, so if you guys are comfortable, everyone is comfortable for 7 to 8, then it is fine. Okay, but most of the
No,
people,
not 7 to 8. Yeah, other than 7 to 8, anytime is fine. Okay, this time also. It's late for me, but I can
yeah. So
try
the
to
thing is,
manage.
guys,
But
okay, so try
7 to 8.
to have patience, or try to bear me for 1 month. You will not regret this particular training. I'm pretty much sure, because I'm how much I'm confident about this thing is because I got so much of good feedback from the so many people, because the way that we are teaching is like point to the core. It is not just like we are trying to touch it on a high level basis. At least that is what I'm trying to deliver. So, but please be bear this particular timing for a few days. Okay.
Yeah, Mark, can I add something?
Mhm.
Yeah, so yes, I have got trained. I mean, I got trained under Amar
Yeah, yeah.
and Kishore previous sessions, and literally, yes, it's worth it. Like you'll not regret it, and definitely, this will definitely add knowledge to your uh, profile.
Oh, sure. Thank you. Okay,
Pleasure.
so uh, uh, she's from the last batch. Okay, so we try to implement one of the real project which we have seen, the consulting project. Okay, so it is not just like we are just leaving you like after this particular classes or something like that. So we will try to share the knowledge once like even after the classes days. Okay, so it is even if you are not getting this particular training, so you are feel free to contact me or my mobile number, so which is there in that particular group. Okay, but so try to understand. So if I am not able to answer that particular question immediately, because I need to put down my mobile outside my ODC, because due to the restrictions of ODC, but at least I'll try to answer your questions end of the day. Okay. But please make sure that you practice well and then only go to your, the companies. Okay. Because their ecosystem is different, guys. So whatever we are learning in the fundamentals, we can't push it everything. Okay, so there is a time limitation, so we can't explain each and every concept in detail. But at least here we will try to explain the things in a detailed manner. So which scenario we need to use this thing, or which aspect we need to go for this particular connector or process APIs or anything. So it will be helpful for you. Okay, so that I can guarantee.
Hi. What time is the timing going to be going forward?
So most of the we were looking at the same time, so 9 to 10 IST, Eleanor.
Is there any way it can go earlier than that?
Mm, as of now, I don't think so, but later point of time, so we are trying to start something like 8 to 9. But maybe Kishore will help you on that.
When will be start the 8 to 9? Not the same semester, right?
Maybe next month.
Okay, so this one is going to be fixed at 9 to 10.
Yeah, at least like so. I was trying to, you know, adjust my timing. So right now I do have calls with the on-site folks late night. So that's why I was just trying to put it something like 9 to 10 IST.
Yeah, so 9 to 10 is like it's going to be 11 to 12 a.m.
Oh,
for us.
okay.
Now it's 1 a.m. for us. So if in the middle it keep changing like 11 or something, I don't want to just keep, I mean, I want to learn like while I'm focusing, not like while I'm sleeping. So that's why I just want to fix it, the timing so that I can register.
Yeah. So Kishore. So
Yeah, the timing would be, same 9 a.m. IST at this moment.
Mm-hmm.
So if it is not possible for you, like we will update one more batch maybe next month. But mostly it would be, morning or evening, because right, we are also working.
Yes, I understand.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah. Okay, guys. Here we are going to support you, for complete, end-to-end project, and you will get the job very easily. I promise you. Already, right? Like many of my students got placed only with the basic training. If you take this, 200% you may get job if you practice it. Okay. Simply, if you attend it, no use. Okay, you have to practice it. and we will give you some freelancing projects, or we will implement some real-time projects. Okay, in offline or online, everything we will do it. Okay, in future also. Okay, if you
Yeah.
guys are really interested, we'll do all these things.
So it depends upon your interest, guys. Okay, so if someone is enthusiastic, okay, so he's actually putting some effort over here, so I'll try to pull you in some other things. Okay, so we do have lot of other things, like kind of freelancing projects, consulting, and so we will try to implement a few other projects for other folks. Okay, we need to support some other people who are in some scenarios. So it is, if you are showing that particular interest, I'll try to get back to that particular level. So but that confidence, I need to get it first. Okay, so if you are putting if you are showing that particular interest, I can easily pick it up. Hey, this particular guy is worth trying this particular project or something like that, so I can put you in that there. So at least that will give you the other aspects of the projects. Okay, so we'll try to tell the projects in a some direction or some sense. We will try to understand the projects. Okay, so if you are trying to connect to some other project, so it will give you some other scenarios, right? So the project scenarios, you will try to get it. So that will give you some other aspect of how this particular projects will be. So it is just for your learning sake. Okay, so this is it. Okay, so mostly like tomorrow onwards, we will try to focus on understanding the API-led connectivity, and we will try to focus on the first API that we are going to develop. Okay, so we'll try to explain. So what is that particular first API and how to take that implementation. Okay. Yeah. Thanks for your time, guys. Okay, so just make sure that you once you are joining this particular thing, so the bare minimum I was expecting is practice. Okay, take down, hey, this particular class is 1 hour, so take 1 more hour, try to practice that particular whatever we explained. Okay, so that will give you so much insight, and that will be helpful in one direction. Okay, if you are just listening to that and if you are closing your laptop, so it might not help, right?
Sir, one question.
Mhm.
How it will help you already working in Mixtab?
Okay, so you guys are already working.
Yeah,
Okay, so which I mean, so you are working in a support model or a project model?
supporting only production environment.
Production support.
Yeah,
Okay, so if you are trying to move it to your enhancements or anything, so that will be helpful, Vamshi. Okay, because support model, we see like how to analysis or how to debug those things, you will get it, and what is the logging techniques, and what is the runtime configurations that we are going to look at. So those things will help it. But this is something like whenever you are moving to some other the actual project implementation, this particular knowledge will be helpful over there. Okay, so I'm transparent here. Okay, so if you are working on a production support, if you are planning to move to the implementation part later point of time, then this will be helpful. Okay, over to you, Kishore.
Okay, guys, we need to join the call. Okay, we'll catch
Okay,
up tomorrow.
so I will try to host this meeting again at 9 to 10. Okay, so who are interested in, so just try to log into that button. Okay, thanks, guys. Thanks for your time.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks,
Alright.
everybody. Take care.
thank you, teacher.